Ding, 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 ding. Daniel Jacobs is already down by 3 rounds. He's already down by 3 rounds.
I understand, and I'm shocked about that.
All right, so it's your boy BT. We hear my pops to disclose some interesting information with you guys because it was recently announced by just a number of sources in boxing that the officials, the refs, the judges have been confirmed for the big fight between Canelo Alvarez and Daniel Jacobs, which is next Saturday. Now, they are as follows. The referee will be Tony Weeks.
Okay.
Judges, Glenn Feldman, Dave Moretti, Steve Weisfeld. Some of the worst judges in boxing. In fact, these are the exact same 3 judges that judged the Canelo Golovkin rematch. That's a fight that many people feel Golovkin won.
It's crazy, right?
And and so there's been a lot of jokes on Twitter that Canelo, the fight hasn't even started yet.
He's already
and
ahead.
Canelo's already up by 3 points, just like that.
Man, I'm just gonna put it this way: the miracle man better come up with some type of miracle to win this. And that's why I always say in any sport, you don't let the referees or the judges make decisions for you on what the results are gonna be. You make sure you come in and you dominate. And my son has been telling me, we've been talking this for days, that he knows I like Jacobs, but the reality is he's telling me, like, Dad, if you're not going for a knockout, forget it.
He can score. You can score 4 knockdowns and lose.
And what you say, the Bird's gonna be there?
Adeline Bird?
Yeah.
Oh no, she's not gonna be there.
Thank you, Jesus. Somebody shut that bird down. Just stand there, How about the shooter? Yeah. You ever see one of those rifles, the guys that shoot the plates?
I mean, the only positives that have come out, the only positives that have come out of this news is that Adeline Bird isn't judging.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank God.
Again,
it's bad enough that she's been able to continue judging fights after that debacle.
And what's crazy about, I was just telling my son about how sometimes I can agree with some of the judges that are literally their scorecards are very close because they're in the same wavelength. But when I see somebody in left field, outrageous scorecard that doesn't even make any sense, there's something's wrong. And another question I want to ask myself: what are the criteria for a judge? To be able to be a judge on all these fights that we always get.
It's clearly not vision.
No, not. And I'm blind right now, and I can see better than they can. I don't have my glasses on, yeah. Because, how many fights have we seen over and over that people get robbed left and right?
Clear as day. What was the last big one that got robbed? Jaime Munguia versus Dennis Hogan.
My God.
Who are the judges for that fight? I gotta see who the judges for that fight.
We're concentrating on the judges because I actually was asking my son, and nothing against Golden Boy. I just want to see if there's a track behind how many judges are actually the same judges in certain fights for certain fighters, and that could be a domino effect on other fighters that want to fight a certain fighter, but they didn't want to because of the fact that it's the same judges. And like I said, you just got to go in there and do your work in the ring and come out with a dominating win. Because if you wait for them judges, forget about it.
I'm gonna say this, man. Tony Weeks is not really the best ref in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them judges, Steve Weisfeld, Glenn Feldman, have had turned in some horrible scorecards at times in their judging careers. So I'm gonna say this, man. You're going for the miracle man. If he wins this fight via stoppage, it'll make it that much more sweeter because literally the whole deck is stacked against him. First of all, he's fighting Canelo Alvarez, which already is hard enough on its own. Then you have the judges against him. Jeez. You have who knows what other fuckery's going on. Maybe they'll let Canelo juice. Maybe he'll get away with it. Maybe they won't have rehydration. It's all kinds of crazy stuff that could go on with Canelo fights. Because you gotta understand. Where there's smoke, there's mirrors, and where there's money, there's follow the money.
Yeah.
And Canelo Alvarez, there's how much money behind him?
300 something, that's a million.
So when that's a lot to overcome.
Well, all I'm saying is, and let me ask you a question: how many, I was just telling you about, and I know it's a different sport, but the MLB has all these umpires and constantly going different crews and everything. How many actual judges is there in the sport of boxing that literally judge the actual big fights, or is it the same 6 or 8?
Well, it generally depends.
In the state?
On where the fight's being taken place.
Oh, wow, okay.
So you're not going to have, generally speaking, you're not going to have Dave Moretti and Steve Weisfeld in Mexico or England, because in England they have English judges, or judges from other places in Europe
Mhm.
come to. That's actually what I like. But one thing I noticed about England, the English and British boxing, you know, big
Mhm.
credit. This is why I like British boxing, because if you look at a lot of British boxing fights, big fights, you know, a lot of times they have a judge from England, a judge from another country, and a judge
Right.
from another country. So it's as you know, it's a more neutral.
Right. It's not
You
like
know,
all Americans or all
or
whatever.
all whatever, yeah.
So it's a big difference. It's a different Kool-Aid.
And that's
Let's
why
say mix.
you'll watch fights. For example, like one thing that surprised me last year, because I'm an American, so anytime I watch a boxing match, I'm just programmed to think in a close fight that the more politically connected fighter will automatically get the decision.
Right.
But I remember last year when Terry Flanagan boxed Maurice Hooker for the 140 title. It was in England, and I'm sitting thinking to myself, it was a good fight. I think Maurice Hooker won, but there's no way how he's getting a decision in England. And guess what? He got a decision in England.
Yeah.
So that happens over
So
there.
fair play to UK boxing.
Fair play to the Brits. I'm not saying that there's not messed
Corruption
up things that there is, but I would say that the volume of their corruption, as far as bad decisions, is a lot lower than what we get here in America.
And it's not as obvious. I mean, if I see that bird coming in,
Adeline Bird.
I already know.
What did you call
I
it?
call it the bird.
Little, what did you call it before we went on? We went live.
Oh yeah, I forgot the bitch. I think I don't know. It's my
You
name.
called her a blind bitch.
Yeah, blind bitch, man. I mean, I'm blind. I can see better than her with this. And my thing
That's
is,
messed up.
because she's called a lot of, like, if you look at the track records of some of these referees, if you don't look at that, then you already know that even if it's Canelo's, anybody else, whatever, you know it's gonna be a crazy fight. You don't know, so you gotta take care of your fight. Look at what happened with I'm not saying that's what happened with Charlo and Harrison, the man, what's his name?
Tony Harrison.
Yeah, Tony Harrison. I mean, he clearly thought he wanted to fight, and there was like Hogan, but you just can't go by that. So take care of business in the ring, and you can still be dominated. Look what happened to Hogan. So I don't know anymore. I'm just gonna roll the dice, you know, and hope that these judges get better eyesight or something. There's gotta be some type of criteria for these judges to know what they're doing.
Yeah, you know the criteria.
Oh, I just can't go to the state sports or athletic commission and say, oh, I'm gonna buy a license for $200. Now I'm a certified boxing.
You know the criteria for judging fights is, right?
Yeah, watching them with your eyes.
No.
What?
Did the check clear?
Yeah.
Have a bank account.
Yeah.
A bank account.
So I mean, it's just very interesting in that. I mean, I'm talking about this, and maybe you can answer this, or if any of you out there know, can promoters stop or choose what kind of judges the fighters can have, or they can appeal it or something? I seen Eddie Hearn or somebody not too long ago.
In America, it's actually a big problem, and that's where you see Teddy Atlas vent a lot. Teddy Atlas will say things like, "Well, the problem with boxing is, particularly, you know, in America is there's no oversight." Basically, what he's saying is, you know, promoters can actually go to sanctioning bodies, and sometimes they may say, "Hey, we want this judge, we want that judge."
Yeah.
And I love the analogy he used. He said, "Imagine the night before the World Series, you go into a nice restaurant, and you see the New York Yankees sitting at a dinner with the umpires for the game the next day. Would that be okay?"
No.
And he used that as a point of reference to say that's what happens in boxing. You have a conflict of interest because you'll have promoters taking out the refs or the judges out to dinners.
And who knows behind that?
And they're influencing things.
It's like a college back in the day in college basketball, when you have all these recruiters taking all these prospects, buying them all kinds of stuff, just the fact that they want to sign with their college. The same thing's happening here. You want to win this fight for the favorite, so you want to make sure you treat those.
You want to get as much advantage as you can for your fighter.
And as crazy as it is, but that's why I say I don't understand how boxing has lasted so long. They don't have like one body. It's crazy.
It's the Wild Wild West. It's not regulated.
And it's like that's
where the UK gets it right, man. Because in the UK, you know, it's not as fragmented because UK is a smaller place. They got the you know, they have the British Boxing Board of Control, which oversees everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have UCAD, which is basically like the British version of VADA.
Okay. But they have one set.
But so it makes things a lot. It make, you know, there's corruption obviously, but there's not as much of it.
Right.
In the UK.
So I mean, we already know Jacobs is an underdog. He's always been an underdog.
His nickname is really appropriate right now. The Miracle Man.
So hopefully he might need those miracles to overcome. And but like again, here we go again where there's money, there's corruption. Canelo just signed a 300. You think the zone just gave him $300 and not getting a profit on that guy.
No, they can't afford.
Yeah,
They can't
they're gonna
afford to
make.
lose.
They're gonna find a way.
And I'm rooting for Jacobs. I think Canelo's gonna win the fight, and I think he'll actually win it legitimately. But
Mhm.
I'm rooting for Jacobs because the whole story of what he came back from his cancer. It'd be a great story to see if he stopped Canelo, but
Yeah, we'll see.
he cannot. And I'm gonna repeat this because if I see this shit on March the 4th, I'm gonna be very livid with him. He cannot.
Mayfield, yeah.
Under any he cannot under any circumstances
Yeah.
go into this fight and box this man like he boxed Triple G. He can't go in there and be cute,
Be soft,
and not soft, but he can go in there try to outsmart him, outbox him.
You think he's
and
gonna be
sit
bigger?
there and sit there and think, oh, I thought I won the fight. If I hear the fucking words, I thought I won the fight come out of his mouth, I will never watch another Daniel Jacobs fight again.
Somebody was telling some boxers say all this stuff.
Because everyone knows.
The wording, yeah, and they already knew they're gonna lose the fight before the fight even starts. Or some fighters like they word certain things on the interview, and you already know before they, this and that. Because come on, but I think out of both guys, who's the bigger guy? I think Jacobs the bigger guy, right? I mean, no, I thought he was big. I mean, with Golovkin, he looked bigger.
Yeah.
So yeah.
When Canelo rehydrates, Canelo's gonna be a freaking monster.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll see what happens from leave your comments below. Click that like button, and thank you for watching us. And like we always say, you can love me or you can hate me. I'm just a
kid from Dania.
There you go.
So
Thank you
until
again.
next time, take care, guys.
Tschüss.